Hi there, today we're going to be having a look at speed, distance and time. Now the overarching idea here, or the overarching formula that we're going to be using is based on this formula triangle, which is really easy to remember. Remember one of the formulae that goes into this, which is speed equals distance over time. You see that? Distance at the top for the numerator divided by time. Okay, so I'm going to start writing these things down. Speed equals distance over time. One of the most commonly used equations that spans across maths and physics. And the next one, distance at the top here, equals speed multiplied by time. Okay, can you see that? Distance at the top equals speed multiplied by time. And on the right-hand side now, the third one, if we make time the subject of the equation, then time is equal to distance divided by speed. Okay, so these on their own are quite difficult to remember, all right? But as soon as you've got the formula triangle, things become much clearer and much easier to remember. Now, I'm going to just show you the importance now of units in these equations. So let's just have a look at a few really common time and distance sets of units. And let's look at the distance ones first of all. So feet is a distance, centimeters. I'll start separating them out. Seconds, hours, and minutes for time, okay? And let's have a look at how we can put these together. Okay, so using the speed, distance, time formula triangle, let's get one over here. Speed is distance divided by time. Let's look at the most common probably of the speed units, which is miles per hour. So if we have our distance unit being miles and we have our time unit being hours, okay, if that were the case, then what we would have, this speed unit would therefore have to be in miles per hour. Okay, they would all have to match up. Let's go and do another one. So again, if I drew out another formula triangle and had speed and distance and time, okay, and this time I might pick kilometers per minute. Kilometers per minute. Okay, all right, so yeah, again, the way that I would show that is that this would be kilometers per minute, perhaps. Okay, that slash is quite handy for showing speed units. One more, shall we do meters per second, let's say. Okay, so imagine another one. I was doing an equation and my distance and my time units were given to me. My distance and my time were given, and my distance was in meters, and my time was in seconds. Okay, then that would mean that my speed would be in meters per second. Often just like that. Okay, all right, so let's look at some examples and see how that works out. Question 1, find the speed of a train which travels at 243 kilometers in 2 hours, 15 minutes. You should find the speed in A, kilometers per hour, and B, meters per minute. So let's do A first of all. Let's make sure that we get our speed and our distance and our time units in those correct units to start with to get the correct speed unit. Okay, so speed is distance over time. Now, let's have a look at the units that I've been given. My distance is 243 kilometers, and my time, I want it to be in kilometers per hour, so this needs to be in hours. Now, at the moment, my time here is in 2 hours and 15 minutes. 2 hours on its own is an integer number of hours, but this here is a fraction of an hour, isn't it? Now, what fraction is it? Well, there's 60. There's 60 minutes in an hour, so 15 over 60 tells me this is 0.25 hours. Okay, don't be tempted to automatically put 2.15 because there aren't 100 minutes in an hour. Okay, so don't slip up here. This is 2.25, 2.25 hours. Okay, let's get that right. And so now that I know those two things, I've got my correct units. My speed is going to be 243 kilometers divided by 2.25 hours, which gives me an answer of 108 kilometers per hour. Okay. All right. So next one. B. Let's have a look at B. We've now got meters per minute. Okay, so I've got to get these two, my distance and my time, into both meters and minutes. Okay, so first of all, 243 kilometers. Let's work with this first. I've got to put it into meters. Now, we know that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. Okay, so if I want to go from kilometers to meters, I have to times by 1,000. So it's going to be 243,000 meters. Okay. And my time is in minutes. Now, how many minutes have I got here? Well, 2 hours is 120 minutes. And 15 minutes added on. So this would be 135 minutes. Okay, so now I've got my units correct for my calculation. Again, speed is distance divided by time. It's going to be 243,000 meters divided by 135 minutes. And this is going to get my answer into the correct units. So my answer comes out as 1,800 meters per minute. Okay. All right. So the importance of converting, therefore, if you want to get a particular speed unit coming out, your units in the calculation have to match. Okay, in this case, it had to be meters and it had to be minutes. In this case, it had to be kilometers and it had to be hours. And I was really careful here, okay, knowing that there's 60 minutes in an hour, not 100. Okay, so that was quite a tricky one. Let's go on to another one. Maybe this is not so tricky. Let's have a look. So question 2. Ian walked from his parents' farm into town at a speed of 5 kilometers per hour. Okay, so already I've got a speed. I'm going to write this down. Speed is 5 kilometers per hour. And the journey took 3 hours. So the time taken is 3 hours. How far, so looking for the distance, did Ian walk? Now, this is in kilometers per hour. This is in hours. So my answer that's going to come out is going to be in kilometers. Okay, let's draw out the formula triangle. Speed is distance divided by time. I want to find the distance. So from this, I can see that distance is speed times time. So what I've got is 5 kilometers per hour multiplied by 3 hours, which gives me 15 kilometers. Okay. Question 3. Esme travelled 550 kilometers to her grandma's house at a speed of 50 kilometers per hour. How long did the journey take her? Okay, so let's just jot down the things that we know. The distance, first of all. The distance is 550 kilometers. The speed is also given to us. That's 50 kilometers per hour. Okay, so how long? We're looking for a time in this question. Okay, I've got this one being kilometers and this one being kilometers per hour. So my answer is going to come out in hours. That's what we're trying to find. Let's draw out the formula triangle. Speed is distance over time. So time from this is distance over speed. Let's have a look. So the time that we're trying to work out is, first of all, my distance, which is 550 kilometers, divided by my speed, which is 50 kilometers per hour, which comes out at, let's work this out, 11 hours. 11-hour journey. Okay. I hope that that's simplified this topic and that you're now feeling confident and ready to do some questions. So good luck with your work.